I am a Gao Fushuai villain. 1 Chapter 1, Cross into a novel and turn into a Gao Fushuai. I have crossed into a novel? On top of that, my identity is a Gao Fushuai 1 villain. Lin Yuan had a strange expression on his face as he perceived the memory in his head. It seems like I have traversed. Furthermore, he had traversed to an urban romance novel that he had recently finished reading. The title of the book is The Strongest Soldier King Zong Cheng Huazhi 2. The background of the story is mainly in the city of Jiangbei in China. The story is about the protagonist Ye Feng, who is a retired soldier king and comes to Jiangbei city from abroad. This is the starting point of the legendary story. Ye Feng encounters countless beautiful women in the process of being famous through China, such as Campus Belle, Iceberg Female President, Attractive Policewoman, Beautiful Doctor, Pretty Twins, Rich Second-Generation Fiancé. However, the villain of the novel Lin Yuan gets a miserable end to his life. As he opposes the protagonist, not only does he get repeatedly face-slapped, but his woman turns to the protagonist and his family ultimately goes bankrupt, even though he is a rich and handsome guy. Can I remove him from this world? Lin Yuan could not help but curse as he thought about the tragic experience of the character. Ding! The counterattack system has started. Lin Yuan's eyes lit up as he heard the sound in his mind. As he often reads novels, he is certainly aware of systems in novel fiction. How useful is this counterattack system? Lin Yuan wondered. Counterattack system's mission is to help the host counterattack. It will not allow the host to make idiotic mistakes like a greenhorn. The host will get to make choices in pivotal points of the storyline, and the rewards will be based on the choices you make. Also, if you plunder the opportunities, luck, status, etc., of the original protagonist, you can get counterattack points, which in turn will make you stronger. Lin Yuan understood after the system explained everything. His thoughts were in perfect sync with the mission of the system. He didn't want to be beaten by the protagonist in the same way as in the book and ultimately suffering bankruptcy. With his knowledge of the storyline and the assistance of the system, Lin Yuan decided to reverse his destiny. I will plunder your opportunities, snatch your luck, and get your women. He wants to smash the protagonist's halo personally. Since the host has understood everything, the story will officially begin from now. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan found himself seated in a coffee shop. An extremely beautiful woman was seated opposite to him. Her beauty made it seem like she had come out of a painting. Her long hair dangled over her shoulders like a waterfall. Her facial features were truly flawless. When you combine the two, it was enough to stupefy most people. Any person would find it enjoyable to just look at her face alone. The perfect figure under her blue dress would make it more difficult for any man to gaze away from her. It was hard to find any shortcomings in her appearance. Alas, her pretty face was icy cold at the moment, and impatience could be seen in her eyes. It is worthy of being the perfect heroine in the novel, with her being even more dazzling than most superstars. Even if you are harsh with your scoring, she will be still scored highly. Lin Yuan had a calm expression on his face as he thought inwardly. The extremely beautiful woman seated in front of him was no other than the #1 heroine in the novel and his fiancée, Yan Ruyu. Although she was nominally his fiancée, the marriage contract was an agreement made by their families. Yan Ruyu didn't have the slightest favorable impression of him, and even somewhat disliked him. Lin Yuan is a thorough licking dog in the novel and fanatically tries to please Yan Ruyu. However, this not only did not yield any results, but at the end of the book he had lost all of his wealth and his precious life. Furthermore, the original protagonist even destroyed his family clan and got them bankrupt. Truly, the licking dog did not die a good death, but it is impossible for me to be a licking dog. Lin Yuan shook his head as he thought. As Yan Ruyu saw Lin Yuan shake his head, she found it harder and harder to endure and finally could not help but rudely say, I called you over today as I wanted to tell you something. Lin Yuan had already confirmed what time point he had crossed over when he heard her opening statement. This passage in the book is when Lin Yuan was diligently courting Yan Ruyu all day long, so much so that the pestering was beyond her endurance. So, she invited him to this cafe and had a face-off with him. But Lin Yuan not only did not converge, but rather his courtship became even more extreme. Yan Ruyu was naturally not aware that Lin Yuan had already guessed what she was about to say next. Thus, she continued, can you stop following me? It's annoying. If you have time, you can. Okay. Lin Yuan unexpectedly interrupted her. Yan Ruyo was a little dumbfounded with the sudden interruption of Lin Yuan. She had prepared herself to give a lengthy speech to convince Lin Yuan not to follow her. However, Lin Yuan not only agreed but also interrupted her. This made Yan Ruyo extremely flabbergasted and also a bit uncomfortable at the same time. Yan Ruyo was not aware that this Li Yuan was not the original Li Yuan who used to lick her like a dog. Thus, Lin Yuan was naturally not interested in have a long-term dialogue with her. Do you promise not to follow me all the time? Yan Ruyo asked again with a hard-to-believe expression on her face. Why should I follow you? Lin Yuan asked back. Yan Ruyo was stupefied for a short while. Is there anything else? If not, I will go first. Lin Yuan said expressionlessly. Seeing Lin Yuan's slightly indifferent look, Yan Ruyo's red lips opened slightly, but she didn't know what to say. Did Lin Yuan take the wrong medicine today? Not only did he immediately agree not to follow her, but he also was going to leave now. If the original Lin Yuan was here, he would perform exactly as Yan Ruyo thought, licking her even harder and continuing to pester her. However, now Lin Yuan will not. But it is a good thing that the discussion has gone smoothly. Although it was strange, Yan Ruyo had a sigh of relief as she reached an agreement with him. She picked up her bag and was ready to leave. Suddenly, Lin Yuan shouted at her, "Wait a minute." What? Yan Ruyo turned back showing an annoyed expression on her face. Could it be that Lin Yuan would go back on his words and continue to pester her? Chapter 2, Adamantly Retire? Refuse to be a licking dog? Miss Yan, you have not paid the bill yet, Lin Yan said, which was different from her thoughts. Yan Ruyo was stunned to hear this. She turned to see the counter cashier and the waiter staring at her. I'm checking out. Yan Ruyo blurted out but felt something was wrong after she said it. She invited Lin Yuan to come, thus she was supposed to pay the bill. But before today, whenever she invited him, Lin Yuan would rush to help her pay. She was used to it, and thus her reaction was a little slow. Ms. Yan, didn't you invite me? Never mind, I can check out too. Lin Yuan shrugged. Looking at Yan Ruyo, he guessed what she was thinking. He could only sigh with sorrow thinking of the previous Lin Yuan at being her faithful licking dog. Okay, I am checking out. Yang Ruyo replied angrily. She didn't know why she was somewhat furious. Isn't checkout a trivial matter for her to be angry? As she touched her bag, her complexion turned slightly embarrassed. Yan Ruyo doesn't usually carry cash with her, and her mobile phone seems to have been forgotten in the car again. Seeing no other way out, Yan Ruyo nibbled her red lips before slowly opening her mouth to speak. Lin Yuan, what? Lin Yuan was ready to leave and turned back in puzzlement. I didn't bring cash, can you? Yan Ruyo was a little embarrassed. Okay. Lin Yuan responded lightly. Lin Yuan walked out of the coffee shop after paying the bill. As he went out, he saw Yan Ruyo standing beside her Ferrari. Although she had an indifferent expression, her face was still as alluring as flowers. And her figure of the top quality. Her long legs under the skirt were particularly eye-catching. Her figure was 10 times better than those car models and a temperament incomparable to any model. Countless passers-by couldn't help but cast their gazes at the fragrant car belle. Lin Yuan took no notice of it and went directly to his Rolls-Royce Phantom. Yan Ruyo became unhappier when she saw Lin Yuan not looking at her but getting on the car directly. It's like someone sends you money every day continuously for a long time, and then suddenly disappears. There will always be some discomfort in your heart. Yan Ruyo was also slightly uncomfortable with Lin Yuan's sudden indifference. She walked quickly to the Rolls-Royce and was ready to speak. However, Lin Yuan spoke straightforwardly. A total of 750, Miss Yan, remember to transfer the money. Yan Ruyo choked back what she was about to say, as she heard Lin Yuan speak, becoming very unhappy. She didn't want to owe Lin Yuan anything and came here to say that she would pay back the money he had settled. However, taking the initiative to pay and being reminded to pay are two different things, the latter being very unpleasant. Did she need a reminder to pay a trifling 750? Will she, the eldest daughter of the Yin family, unable to afford it? Got it, I will pay it back. As today Lin Yuan was behaving abnormally, Yan Ruyo suddenly thought of something. The behavior of Lin Yuan is unusual today. She hates him in all respects. Thus, he is thinking about changing his manners to attract her attention. It's just that this behavior, in her opinion, is childish. Do you think that this way can attract my attention? Childish. Yan Ruyo said coldly. Lin Yuan got somewhat angry hearing her words. If you don't lick her, she thinks you are trying to attract her attention. This Miss Yan is truly self-righteous. You can only blame the original Lin Yuan for licking her too intensely. The complexion of Lin Yuan turned icy cold. Miss Yan, pay attention to your tone. Also, you have a misunderstanding today. You took the initiative to call me, and I came. You asked me to help you pay the bill, and I did that too. I don't know what I did that caught your attention. Is it me asking you to pay back the money? If you don't want to pay back, it doesn't matter. This amount of money does not make a difference to me. However, I don't know why Miss Yan is so angry that she keeps showing me a scowling face as if I owe you money. She dislikes Lin Yuan and was unhappy with him. Now she is getting angrier but does know where to vent her feelings. Lin Yuan, though, was right. He had done nothing wrong. Instead, it was she who was behaving unreasonably. But the fault still lies on him given he had been bothering her continuously non-stop for so many days. Yenruyu was aggrieved and unable to express her dissatisfaction. She gave a depressing sigh before muttering, "You have the gift of the gab, but I will never like the sort of person you are." Ding! Yenruyu expressed her disgust for you. Please make a choice. Choice 1, be the embodiment of licking dog and apologize to her. Reward, master level martial arts. Choice 2, resolutely retire from marriage, refuse to lick the dog. Reward, god level medical skills. Lin Yuan had a slight dilemma as he looked at the two options in his mind. Both master level martial arts and god level medical skills are super good rewards. It is a difficult choice. However, Lin Yuan soon decided to break off the engagement. Master level martial arts is very tempting, but god level medical skills are also very alluring. Furthermore, he needed medical skills for his actions in the future. Besides, he can't be a licking dog. Ding! The selection is complete. Receive the reward god level medical skills? Since that is the case, let us break off the engagement, Lin Yuan stated indifferently. Huh? What did you say? Yenruyu completely froze. I said, let us break off the engagement, Lin Yuan repeated coldly. Yenruyu did not see the slightest of emotions in the icy cold eyes of Lin Yuan and was dumbfounded. Her first reaction was that Lin Yuan had taken the wrong medicine. Chapter 3, Total Assets, 5 billion. Didn't he always yearn to be married to her? In the past, Lin Yuan would come to her as soon as possible and court her using various means. He would be her shadow tagging along everywhere with her. But today, he cannot refrain from keeping a distance from her and treats her coldly. Furthermore, he is taking the initiative to retire from marriage. Are you serious? Yenruyu asked in disbelief. Lin Yuan nodded. I'm serious. I used to be ignorant and didn't consider your feelings before. Now I have thought about it. If you have to use force to break a melon off the vine, it won't taste sweet one. Yenruyu was flabbergasted to hear Lin Yuan say that. She had thought of breaking off the engagement for a long time. The marriage contract that her assertive mother had set for her completely disgusted Yenruyu. She did not like the dog-licking Lin Yuan at all. She dreamed of breaking off the engagement and found it difficult to accept, given the happiness arrived so suddenly. Can I trouble you to tell our parents? Yenruyu forced herself to stay cool-headed and stated to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan knew what Yenruyu meant. Their elders had fixed the marriage contract. Her mother had repeatedly rejected her demands to retire. Lin Yuan had to say that he wanted to break off the engagement. She was afraid that he was teasing her. Okay, I will call my parents now. Lin Yuan looked at Yenruyu and said indifferently. Yenruyu was relieved after hearing Lin Yuan's words. It seems he is serious, given he is making a call in her presence. Yenruyu discovered that today the eyes of Lin Yuan were extremely clear. She did not find the eagerness and possessive desire in his eyes like before, which made her loathe him. This made her a lot more comfortable. Thanks a lot. Yenruyu's tone was not as cold as before because today was pretty good to her, and she did not hate him as much as before. Lin Yuan did not reply as the call had connected. Hello? Xiao Tu Yuan, didn't you say you were cultivating feeling with Ruyu? How can you have time to call mom? Meng Yuelin was baffled to see Lin Yuan call her. I want to break off the engagement with Yenruyu. I have had a proper discussion with Ruyu's mother. You will be married within this year. What? Retire from marriage. Meng Yuelin was shocked to hear Lin Yuan say that. Yes, retire from marriage. What is the matter with you? You can tell mom everything, Meng Yuelin knew that her son loved Yenryu a lot. She was incredibly shocked and wanted to get to the heart of the matter. Lin Yuan, though, disinclined to explain and said directly, "You tell Dad first, I will return and explain everything to you guys." Lin Yuan hung up the phone after he finished talking. "Okay." Lin Yuan asked Yenryu. "Yeah, thanks a lot." Yenryu's tone was much better now. "It's alright. Marriage goes without saying, is a matter of two individuals and depends on their wishes. If there is no freedom in marriage, then there will be no happiness." Lin Yuan waved his hands indifferently. "Okay." Yenryu gave Lin Yuan a surprised look. She did not expect him to voice her thoughts. It was because her mother completely disregarded her opinion that she was so disgusted with the marriage contract. "If it's all right, I'll go first." Lin Yuan got into the car after saying that and left without hesitation. Yenryu was puzzled to see Lin Yuan drive off in his Rolls-Royce without a second thought about her. Lin Yuan was too unusual today. It is as if they are two different people when compared to the original Lin Yuan. Did he figure out everything? Yenryu breathed a sigh of relief, seeing Lin Yuan depart immediately. Yenryu was excited emotionally and in a cheerful mood. She felt a weight off her mind when marriage contract that had shackled her for so long was released so easily. It seemed like Lin Yuan was not so annoying after all. Ding! Counterattack point +10. Lin Yuan, who was driving, suddenly heard the prompt of the system in his mind. He immediately asked, "What is this counterattack point? What's its use?" The 10 counterattack points were obtained because the first heroine Yenryu had a slight change in the impression of the host. Counterattack points can be used to increase the host's attributes or upgrade the host's skills, the system explained. Also, this is your attribute panel, host. The system brought up a panel while explaining. Lin Yuan immediately saw that a dark blue panel appear in his mind. Host, Lin Yuan counterattack point, 10 wealth value, 5 billion attribute strength 103, speed, 105, reaction, 104, charisma, 120, physique, 110. The average attribute of ordinary people is 100. Skills: medical skills, divine level; car skills, intermediate level; violin, intermediate level; calligraphy, intermediate level; English, elementary level. Hint: every 100 counterattack points can increase one attribute value. You can also buy a new skill with 100 counterattack points. The skill can be upgraded, but the counterattack points required will double. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded after reading it. He has a wealth of 5 billion, and his attributes are not low either. But Lin Yuan is not surprised after all. He is a Gao Fushuai. By the way, Shen Lan, the protagonist Yafeng in the book, what are his various attribute skills? Lin Yuan asked curiously. Lin Yuan gave the name Shen Lan 3 to the system after seeing the dark blue attribute panel. He felt that the counterattack system was not pleasing to hear. Chapter 4. His strength is close to a tank. The attributes of Yafeng in the book are above 180 on average. As a retired soldier king, he not only has terrifying strength and speed but has also mastered many high-grade skills. For example, he has master-level martial arts, advanced gunmanship, advanced medical skills, etc. Shenlan explained. Damn it! The urban noob writer wants to puff the hero, but is the protagonist still human? The attributes make him a tank. Lin Yuan couldn't help but scold. Your opinion is correct. Shenlan agreed. It is really a tank. Shen Ian's confirmation dumbfounded him. It seems I have to work harder to earn points to increase my strength and fight against this heaven-defying man, Lin Yuan said. Correct. Speaking of earning points, host, why did you break off the engagement with Yenryu? Shenlan abruptly asked him. Because I don't want to be a licking dog, Lin Yuan said. Yenryu is the first heroine in the novel and can be called a living treasure. Her entire body is full of counterattack points. As long as you successfully chase her, you will receive a massive amount of counterattack points. You are foolish to terminate the marriage contract with her. Although the system does not have independent consciousness and intelligence, it still has a wise brain and so will advise Lin Yuan to gain counterattack points. So, the marriage contract should be released. Lin Yuan said. If Shenlan had a head, it would be filled with question marks. Didn't you see the original Lin Yuan be a licking dog for so long? Did it lead to any progress with the heroine? Forget it, It does not make sense to explain it to you. Lin Yuan realized that Shenlan might be useful in many ways, but when it comes to love, he has a mental disability, so don't count on it. Lin Yuan, who has read the novel, clearly knows the preferences of the first heroine, Yanruyu. Yanruyu's character is cold, she is a genuine iceberg beauty. She is disgusted with men due to her family upbringing. Her mother's arrangement increased her loathing. If you want to chase her down, a marriage contract is a wrong way to do it. Being a licking dog is even more hopeless. As the first heroine in the novel, she is truly a walking treasure. Lin Yuan will naturally not let her go, but he cannot be too anxious. He wants Yanruyu to take the initiative to chase him. He won't be a licking dog in this lifetime. Lin Yuan, why did you suddenly want to break off the engagement? A female voice questioned Lin Yuan as he entered the house. Lin Yuan looked up and saw his mother, Meng Yuelin, glaring at him with her arms akimbo. His father, Lin Jianjun, beside a quilt, was drinking lukewarm water. In his family, his mother's temperament is relatively impetuous and resolute. His mother seems to be in charge of the house, but Lin Yuan knows that she is in charge of only trivial matters. His father, Lin Jianjun, was bolder and usually made the final decision on major issues. The former Lin Yuan would have muttered complaints as an explanation in the face of Meng Yuelin's questioning. However, the present Lin Yuan is not like the former. Don't be anxious. I will explain everything clearly to you. Lin Yuan leisurely took off his shoes and also poured a cup of tea for himself. Lin Yuan's eloquence was pretty good. He was able to confront his parents without having any natural fear of them. Under his persuasion, in half an hour, they had accepted to him breaking off the engagement. Well done. Why does a man of character fear he will not have a wife? Lin Yuan and Meng Yuelin were communicating for half an hour, while Lin Jianjun served as a listener. Lin Jianjun spoke when Lin Yuan had finished speaking. He seemed to approve of Lin Yuan. Meng Yuelin glared at Lin Jianjun, and thus he continued to drink warm water. Lin Yuan said, "Mom, please take out the engagement book. I will go to the house of the Yan family tomorrow to retire from marriage." Meng Yuelin quickly went to the room and came back with a piece of red paper. It was precisely the engagement book. Lin Yuan reached out to take it, but Meng Yuelin was reluctant to hand it over. "Alas, I am a bit hesitant to let go of my daughter-in-law." Meng Yuelin sighed. "Damn it, Mom, if you have to use force to break a melon off the vine, it won't taste sweet one," Lin Yuan persuaded. "If you have to use force to break a melon off the vine, it won't taste sweet but it is still fragrant. Didn't you look at Yanruyu's snowy skin, beautiful long legs? Is she not fragrant?" Meng Yuelin asked. Lin Yuan nearly spewed out the tea he was drinking. "Was she my stepmother, after all?" Lin Yuan helplessly said, "You look at other people's melon fragrance, but why don't you look at me? I am a Gao Fushuai, what qualification am I missing?" "Yes, you make sense," Meng Yuelin nodded mutteringly. Lin Yuan did not hesitate. Grabbing the engagement book, he returned to his room. "Shenlan, I want to ask a question. Is this body mine?" Lin Yuan asked while looking at the mirror. "Yes, host. This is your own body. You have just replaced the identity of Lin Yuan." Lin Yuan was relieved to hear Shen Yan's explanation. Although possessing a body is no different from having a new one, but Lin Yuan was still anxious. If he had possessed the dead Lin Yuan's body, he would be disturbed in his heart. "It would be nice if I had more counterattack points. I want to upgrade my attributes, but the counterattack points are too few to be able to do so. This body is useless, and I only have money left," Lin Yuan thought. Ding! The host can purchase counterattack points. Shenlan reminded at the same time. A screen appeared in front of Lin Yuan. "Recharge 100,000 yuan to 1 counterattack point, 10 million yuan 100 counterattack points SS. That means 10 million yuan can upgrade only a single attribute." Lin Yuan gasped. "Isn't system purchase too pitted?" Author thoughts. I would encourage you guys to rate the novel on Novel Updates. You can support me over here on Ko-Fi. Chapter 5. Why do I feel that he has gotten more handsome? Although his net worth is 5 billion yuan, it includes fixed assets such as real estate, companies, etc. His liquid funds amount to about 500 million. There is nothing to be done here. The system does not encourage the host to use wealth to gain counterattack points but work hard to reverse the plot. Shanlan said grudgingly. How can Gao Fushuai not rely on his own money? You don't have to persuade me anymore. First purchase fucking 100 million worth counterattack points. Lin Yuan waved his hand exaggeratedly. Lin Yuan converted his 100 million to 1,000 counterattack points and used all of them to increase his charm. I am tall and rich, but not too handsome. I should not fail to live up to the name of Gao Fushuai. Lin Yuan looked in the mirror and found that after adding the points, he had become 20% more handsome compared to before. The effect is good, but 100 million is not enough. Lin Yuan went on to convert another 200 million to counterattack points, making a total conversion of 300 million into points. He used all the points obtained from his wealth to enhance his charm attribute. He did not want to plunge his family, but rather he knows that an attractive face is vital in the society he is living in. He does not lack money, thus, it is natural to improve his attractiveness to the opposite gender. Charm is an important factor in his next plans. Lin Yuan found himself much more handsome as he looked at the mirror after increasing his charm value. His eyebrows were beautiful, his lips were red and teeth shiny white, his bearing was natural and generous, and he was full of spirit. His handsomeness was eye-catching. A glimpse at him in a crowd is enough to recognize him. He gave off a favorable impression to anyone at first sight. The next day at noon, Lin Yuan casually chose the Lamborghini Aventador from the underground garage of his villa and set off to the Yan family with the engagement book. Seeing the Lamborghini speed along the road, countless passerby took out their mobile phones to take pictures. The handsomeness of Lin Yuan got a lot of female students to have the pipe dream of sitting in the co-pilot. Lin Yuan did not care about this. He had dozens of cars in his underground garage, with the majority having a similar price to the one he is driving right now. As the heir to the family conglomerate of hundreds of billions, he does not lack grand villas and luxury cars. He even possesses yachts and helicopters. If it weren't for his mother's strict management, I am afraid he would have already embarked on the road to debauchery and extravagant lifestyle. Due to fear of collision and the accompanying financial loss, no many vehicles were driving close to him, and Lin Yuan was able to reach his destination quickly. It was a nice-looking, classical-style renovated villa occupying an area of several thousand meters. The land in Yanjing is very expensive, and having such a villa means that either the owner has a tremendous financial capability or powerful connections. The Yan family has a large conglomerate with a net worth of hundreds of billions and is not much worse than the Lin family. Lin Yuan had been to the Yan family villa several times before. Thus, he causally gave the car key to the respectful servant to park his car in the garage while he strode forwards. Lin Xiao, you have not been here for a while. Recently Miss, a delicate and pretty maid, while respectfully guiding the way, kept incessantly telling Lin Yuan about the recent state of affairs of Yanruyu at home. The maid was baffled to see Lin Yuan look straight ahead and not pay attention to her words. She was very depressed as the former Lin Yuan would always ask things related to the state of affairs of Miss Yan. As long as she spoke well, she would be rewarded. Why didn't he hear it when she is speaking loudly? He was treating her words like air. As they reached close to the villa, the maid shut up instantly and departed quickly. Yanruyu, whom she was talking about, was standing at the door of the mansion and looking like she was waiting for Lin Yuan. Yanruyu was wearing a plain, white dress gown, her hair draped over her shoulders. The classical style of the villa, coupled with her white dress that surpassed snow, made her a picturesque beauty. She was wearing a knee-length skirt, compared to the previous ones, which reached her ankle. It may be because she was at home today. Yanruyu's figure was excellent, and her legs could be rated perfect. They were perfectly straight and smooth, even better than fashion models. The exposed calves are similar to a perfectly and meticulously sculpted white jade. They are dazzling and matchless. However, facing such perfect beauty, Lin Yuan took a single glance at her before withdrawing his gaze. He had come to do something today and he cannot get dazed by seeing beautiful woman. It was my mother who asked me to wait at the door to pick you up. Yanruyu explained as she was afraid that Lin Yuan thought that she was taking the initiative to wait for him. Okay, Lin Yuan replied indifferently. Yanruyu couldn't help but peek at Lin Yuan's eyes when she heard him reply indifferently. Today is an important day for her as it symbolizes freedom and liberation. Thus, she is wearing more revealing clothes than usual. Yanruyu is very clear about her appearance and figure. If she leaves her home in this dress, the eyes of the opposite sex would wish to devour her alive. But to Yenryu's astonishment, apart from taking the customary first glance, Lin Yuan did not look at her a second time. Lin Yuan had taken the initiative to mention breaking the engagement. Yenryu had thus dressed up to make him regret what he had done. Of course, she wanted to break off the engagement. It was her normal physiological reaction as she was getting divorced. However, Lin Yuan's indifferent attitude gave her a sense of helplessness. Lin Yuan seemed to be a completely different person when compared to his previous actions of licking dog. Yenryu could not help but peek at Lin Yuan again. Why do I feel that he is more handsome? Yenryu did not know why when she had just seen him yesterday. Today she felt that Lin Yuan had become much more handsome and even attracted her, who loathes men. She was unable to restrain her emotions and glanced at him several times. Miss Yan, Lin Yuan began to speak and caught Yenryu stealing glances at him. Yenryu's cheeks reddened instantly. You are going to retire from marriage today, did you bring the engagement book? Yenryu asked in a higher tone. Yenryu felt electrocuted when her eyes met his. Her cheeks were burning hot, and she promptly found a topic for conversation. Lin Yuan did not care much, seeing her strange appearance. He waved the red document in his hand and said, Of course, I brought it. You can feel relieved, I will retire from marriage today. Oh, that's good, Yenryu snorted, and accelerated her pace, walking in front of Lin Yuan instead of walking together with him. Is this the result of my 150 charm points? Lin Yuan thought as he touched his smooth, jade-like face. If you want to be a qualified supervillain, you not only need to have a glib tongue one and no flowery speech too but also have great perception. He knew that Yenryu was stealing glances at him a while ago. He did not want to expose her. He even deliberately met her gaze. He did not expect that Yenryu, who ignored him and refused to respond to him yesterday, would peep at him today. He had not expected this at all. The effect of his charm value is not as great as he thought. The contrast from licking dog to aloof rich and handsome man is the main reason for Yenryu stealing glances. He did not expect when their gazes met, Yenryu was so embarrassed that she walked ahead of him. As expected, the reserved and cold girl has a pure heart. Lin Yuan shook his head and stared intently at her jade-like legs as Yenryu walked forward. Lin Yuan did not want to be hypocritical by looking elsewhere and pretending to be an upright gentleman instead of staring at her white ankle. He had to admit that Yenryu's jade-like legs were what men dream of. He did not enjoy the beautiful scenery for long as they reached the drawing room soon after. The decoration of the large drawing room was simple. There was a small coffee table along with a few sofas for guests. A middle-aged woman was sitting on a sofa waiting for them. Mom, I brought him, Yenryu said, and then sat on the sofa playing with her mobile phone. Song Xian frowned. Where are your manners? You are sitting down before the guests have sat down. Humph. Yenryu groaned and said nothing. Of course, she knew it was not polite, but she was afraid that her blush would be seen before, so she sat down to cover up. Xiao Yuan, I have not seen you for such a long time. You have become so handsome. Come, let Aunt take a good look at you. Song Xian instantly changed her face and smiled while facing Lin Yuan. Song Xian was not saying it courteously, but she felt that Lin Yuan had become very handsome. Hello Aunt Song, Lin Yuan walked over with a smile. Hello Aunt Song, Lin Yuan walked over with a smile. Song Xian laughed and looked at Lin Yuan with a gentle look after hearing him call her auntie. She prefers he call her auntie, although it seems to indicate her age. This middle-aged woman is Yenryu's mother, Song Xian. Song Xian is a very resilient and smart woman, and she is wearing a suit even at home. Song Xian has influenced the character of Yenryu greatly. Auntie is busy with work and did not take a good look at you for 3 years. Sigh. Song Xian spoke very gently with Lin Yuan, resembling a gentle and caring elder. Why don't you pour tea for Xiao Yuan? She frowned as she talked to Yenryu. Yes, Yenryu was reluctant to do so, but she still got up and poured tea. She is an iceberg beauty outside but she did not dare to be rash in front of her strong mother. Cough. Song Xian coughed a few times when Yenryu poured tea. She seemed to have caught a cold. Lin Yuan and Song Xian began to talk about the daily life of the family, and so on. As a successful person, Song Xian is good at conversations. Lin Yuan is also an eloquent and fluent speaker. He knows a little about the character of Song Qian, so the two had a very harmonious conversation. Song Qian's eyes toward Lin Yuan became softer. Finally, the topic gets mentioned. Xiao Yuan, have you decided to break off the engagement? Song Qian asks solemnly. If you don't want to break it off, it's not too late to regret it now. Yenruyu was pretending to play games on her mobile phone while listening to the conversations earnestly. She tensed up when she heard Song Qian's words. She knew her mother was speaking earnestly. The divorce gets nullified as soon as Lin Yuan utters the word remorse. However, Lin Yuan's words made her relax. Auntie, my decision is final. Ruyu is a good woman, but we may not be suitable for each other. Marriage is a major event for two individuals. We cannot force it onto someone, Lin Yuan stated. Yeah, marriage is a major event for two individuals. Song Qian seemed to think of something and contemplated for a few seconds. She soon recovered and said smilingly, since you have decided, Auntie will not persuade you anymore. Song Qian turned her head towards Yenruyu and said coldly, Xiao Yuan is so good. It is a blessing for you to marry him. Unfortunately, you don't know how to cherish it. Cough, Song Qian violently coughed a few times after saying that. No matter how good he is, I don't like him. Yenruyu seemed very persistent and even dared to answer back Song Qian. You, cough. Song Qian frowned and wished to scold Yenruyu, but coughed several times without saying anything. There should be freedom in choosing a marriage partner. Yenruyu was very rebellious in this matter and continued to mumble. Lin Yuan was not prepared to speak in someone else's family matters, but he had just had a great conversation with Song Qian and thus was unable to refrain from saying, Why are you still speaking? Don't you see Auntie coughing continuously? However, Yenruyu, not prepared to shut up, went on to speak. She felt that she would never have such an opportunity like today again. When she dares to say something to her mother, she wanted to make it clear today, if there is no freedom in marriage, what is the point of being alive? Yenruyu said, getting more and more emotionally excited. Cough, cough, cough. On the other side, Song Qian coughed even more fiercely. Song Qian suddenly closed her eyes and collapsed on the ground. Fortunately, Lin Yuan, who was sitting on the side, was quick to help her lean back on the chair. Yenruyu panicked, seeing Song Qian almost collapse due to anger. She thought her mother would reprimand her a little, and then the matter will get settled. But Song Qian's illness abruptly got so worse that she fainted. Although her mother controls her life, after her father left, she is the sole remaining relative who cares about her life. Doctor, doctor, quickly come in. Yenruyu shouted anxiously. Immediately, 5 or 6 doctors entered the room at lightning speed, and it appeared that they were somewhat prepared. Song Qian was paralyzed and was sitting motionless on the chair. Heart failure. The doctors quickly pulled out an emergency bed to move Song Qian up and then used various pacemakers and other equipment to save her. But they all had little effect. Do these fools want to kill people? Lin Yuan frowned as he watched them act. He, who possessed divine-level medical skills, could see that these doctors thought Song Qian had heart failure, so they wanted to use a pacemaker to stimulate the heart. However, there was no heart failure in this situation, and using a pacemaker will only aggravate the condition. Lin Yuan came to the Yan family today, not only to release the marriage contract, but also to see Song Qian. Song Qian had resiliently supported the Yan clan alone for a decade, producing only a good reputation and prestige, but at the same time, her body had suffered from illness. Song Qian must have consulted a specialist and got aware of her health condition, judging from the preparedness of these female doctors. As for why there was no male doctor, it was because Song Qian, like Yenruyu, did not like men very much, merely she did not loathe men like Yenruyu. Lin Yuan remembered that Song Qian would suffer from a heart failure-like illness in a week and lose consciousness. Her situation had deteriorated because she suffered from cardiogenic shock. In the original novel, famous doctors were unable to cure her. The protagonist, who had a good relationship with the entire Yan family, cured her with his medical skills. Lin Yuan was planning to intercept this opportunity from the protagonist. His divine-level medical skills were higher than that of the protagonist, thus, Lin Yuan could treat Song Qian with ease. However, sending charcoal in the snow one is more moving than icing on the cake too. Therefore, he intended to step forward at a good time. He would stop the protagonist Ye Fan from appearing, and when the situation got most critical, he would cure her. However, he did not expect the butterfly effect in the novel had already begun. The removal of the marriage contract brought about the rebellious and aggressive words of Yenryu, which stimulated Song Xian, and she fell ill in advance. In that case, let me treat her now. Lin Yuan had a good impression of Song Xian. Although she is astute and resilient, she repays the kindness of others. There is no harm in helping her. Although Lin Yuan thought a lot of things in his mind, only a short time had passed since the doctors started treating her. At the moment, Yenryu was looking at the unconscious Song Xian, weeping silently, and the 5 doctors were standing still with helplessness. The remedy of the disease could not be arbitrary. The person treating her would be accountable if a fatality occurred, and none of the doctors could afford the responsibility of Song Xian's death. The remedy of the disease could not be arbitrary. The person treating her would be accountable if a fatality occurred, and none of the doctors could afford the responsibility of Song Xian's death. All of you step aside. Do you want to kill Auntie Song by using the pacemaker blindly and blocking the airflow? Lin Yuan shouted and brushed aside the female doctors and Yenryu to get to Song Xian. They saw Lin Yuan quickly take a piece of cloth from his waist and unfold it. The cloth was astonishingly a lump piece of silver needles stuck together. Thus, there were rows of silver needles in arrangement when unfolding it. Lin Yuan sandwiched 10 silver needles between the fingers of his 2 hands like a butterfly extracting nectar from flowers. He quickly stuck the major acupuncture points on Song Xian's head with his needles. Hundreds of arteries meet at the Beihui acupuncture point, Fengqi acupuncture point. Lin Yuan had used up all 10 silver needles in his hands in a few seconds. He breathed a sigh of relief as Song Xian was no more in danger of life. Although he had arrived today to break off the engagement, fortunately, he had carried the silver needles with him. He, the possessor of divine-level medical skills, needed to carry silver needles with him. For Lin Yuan, these silver needles can not only save people but also kill them. Lin Yuan knew that he was saving Song Xian, but others are not aware of it. They only saw that Lin Yuan had inserted a lot of silver needles on Song Xian's head. What are you doing? Yenryu shouted before enclosing her mouth to sob spasmodically. I am treating the illness and saving people, so be quiet, Lin Yuan said indifferently. Yenryu got very angry and almost passed out in anger seeing Lin Yuan suddenly stab needles on the head of Song Xian. She wondered if Lin Yuan had gone insane due to the retirement of the marriage contract. He was behaving abnormally by inserting the needles on Song Xian's head. The 5 female doctors stood still stupefied and frightened at the same time. The doctors and Yenryu were preparing to push away the abnormal Lin Yuan. However, they discovered that the motionless Song Xian twitched a few times, and her fingers moved. Subsequently, her eyes faintly opened. Listen to Xiao Yuan, Song Xian said softly with the sound of a tiny mosquito. Although Song Xian couldn't move before, she could still hear the movement outside. She instantly felt better when Lin Yuan's silver needle got inserted in her head. She had known about the medical skill of acupuncture. Thus, as soon as she could speak, the first sentence uttered was for everyone to listen to Lin Yuan. Everyone was stunned to see Song Xian awaken. Yenryu was even more startled to hear Song Xian say that everyone should listen to Lin Yuan. But she was smart and understood now why Lin Yuan said that he was treating the illness and saving her mother's life. Lin Yuan did not pay attention to the shock of those around him. He quickly inserted more silver needles seeing Song Xian wake up. You all go out, many people standing here will disturb me, Lin Yuan said faintly. The doctors hesitate slightly upon hearing Lin Yuan's words. However, thinking of what Song Xian had earlier said and seeing that under the treatment of Lin Yuan, Song Xian's face gradually became rosy and her breathing gentle, they obediently retreated. Only, Yenryu stood still to the side and looked at Song Xian with a worried expression. Lin Yuan noticed it and said nothing to her, continuing to acupuncture. After 5 minutes, silver needles filled Song Xian's head, back, and arms. Lin Yuan was also sweating profusely. Although acupuncture was only for a few minutes, it expanded a lot of physical strength of Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan straightforwardly commanded her without any politeness, come and help me wipe my sweat, otherwise, it will affect my treatment. There were only 3 people in the room. If you remove Lin Yuan, who was treating, and Song Xian, who was getting treated, only Yenryu remained. Yan Ruyu naturally understood whom Lin Yuan had commanded. She felt at a loss and nibbled her red lips. Although she was slightly unhappy, she still picked a calico to wipe clean the sweat on Lin Yuan's forehead and cheeks, so that her mother's treatment is not affected. While wiping off the seat, Yan Ruyu subconsciously took a few glances at Lin Yuan. She was dazed. It is said that men devoted to work are handsome. She was unable to take off her eyes from Lin Yuan. Although his appearance was cold, it showed seriousness, making him look very reliable. Yan Ruyu's heart skipped a beat looking at his face. As the eldest daughter of the Yan family, she had come across hundreds of affluent young men, but she loathes men. She feels nauseous talking to other men, let alone touch them. However, she found that she was not so resistant to help Lin Yuan wipe sweat. What am I thinking? Mom is still in the midst of treatment. Yan Ruyu scolded herself and promptly moved away. Nevertheless, she failed to discover that her cheeks had reddened. Lin Yuan felt very comfortable after enjoying the service of Yan Ruyu. He possessed diving-level medical skills, and thus it was impossible that not wiping off the sweat would affect his treatment. As Yan Ruyu did not leave, he made use of her presence. Soon 5 minutes passed by. During this period, Lin Yuan called Yan Ruyu to wipe off sweat 3 to 4 times. Although she looked unwilling, Yan Ruyu still wiped off his sweat. Song Xian, too, woke up in the course of the treatment. Xiao Yuan. Thank you very much. As Lin Yuan put away the needle, Song Xian got up immediately and grasped Lin Yuan's hands tightly. She was moved emotionally and grateful. 10 years? Song Xian had never felt so well for 10 years. Her husband met an early demise, and she had been supporting the huge Yan conglomerate alone as a woman for 10 years. The 100 billion worth conglomerate is not only the symbol of wealth and authority but at the same time, a huge piece of fat for others. She tried her hardest to be a chairman and a mother at the same time and do the roles perfectly, but she could not bear such a heavy burden for such a long time. She endured pain and exhaustion alone, and almost every day, her heart twitched violently, her internal organs suffered intense pain. But after Lin Yuan's treatment, she felt extremely comfortable all over her body, and especially in her chest area. A warm current seemed to flow through her body, making her feel she was in her 20s. But after Lin Yuan's treatment, she felt extremely comfortable all over her body, and especially in her chest area. A warm current seemed to flow through her body, making her feel she was in her 20s. Lin Yuan was not surprised by Song Xian's actions and said with a smile, "Auntie, you are praising me too much. I have some medical skills due to a chance encounter. Thus, I am duty-bound to help when I come across such a thing. Auntie, come back to the main topic. Do you feel warm now? I have stimulated hundreds of acupuncture points in your body. These acupuncture points will link up all the acupuncture points in your body and make all of the organs in your body more active. However, your body will require yang qi to support this consumption. Thus, I will come to acupuncture every day for half an hour, and I will also prescribe for you. You need to take it. Also, take care of your body and don't get yourself exhausted or catch a cold in the meantime. Okay, Xiao Yuan, I will. Remember what you have said. I am very thankful to you. This is a life-saving grace." Song Xian nodded repeatedly. She was extremely grateful to Lin Yuan. Even if she were the chairman of a 100 billion conglomerate, she was fundamentally no different from an ordinary person when facing a life or death scenario. How could she not be grateful to Lin Yuan when she had brought her back from the jaws of death? Someone to quickly bring a pen and paper under Song Xian's command. Lin Yuan wrote a few prescriptions. He found a small red book under the paper after he finished writing. Song Xian began to explain given Lin Yuan's puzzlement. This is the title deeds of a villa in Zhaoyang district. And did not give you a gift when you were engaged. This is your late engagement gift, Song Xian laughed. Now the engagement is already broken, Lin Yuan said. Song Xian, nevertheless, replied with a smile, you must accept it. Although I know you do not lack a villa, but aunt beseeches you to accept it. Lin Yuan did not say anything more and accepted the title deeds. There is no denying the fact that Song Xian is smart and gracious. Lin Yuan and Song Xian both know that the villa is actually a reward for the treatment of her disease. Lin Yuan had a life-saving grace for her, so Song Xian felt the reward was inadequate and gave the villa as a gift for engagement. It is worthy of being of the person who supported the Yen conglomerate and her daughter at the same time as her words can win the favor of everyone. He accepted it, given it would be impolite otherwise. Song Xian smiled happily, seeing Lin Yuan accept it. By the way, I have never heard your parents say you have such superb medical skills. Who did you learn it from? It's okay if you find it inconvenient to talk about, Song Xian asked smilingly. Song Xian felt incredible that Lin Yuan had cured the disease that had troubled her for 10 years in such a short amount of time. Incidentally, I had come across an old man, and he taught me, Lin Yuan explained casually. Alas, you are truly a talented person. You are not only a Gao Fushuai but also have superb medical skills. If I were 20 years old, I would surely chase you. You does not have good foresight. Song Xian shook her head and smiled. Mom, Yan Ruyo shouted with displeasure. Thank you, Auntie, that's very kind of you. Actually, if you and Ruyu stand together, everyone will think of you as sisters. Lin Yuan smilingly said. He is not fawning on her as Song Xian, whose age is 40, looks more like she is 27 years old. She cannot be an ugly woman, as she gave birth to a beautiful woman such as Yan Ruyu. She is a natural beauty, her maintenance is good as well. Thus, when she stands together with Yan Ruyu, everyone will genuinely feel that Song Xian is the elder sister. Song Xian had worn a suit giving off the impression of a more mature and intellectual woman than Yan Ruyu. Auntie, if it's okay, then I will take my leave. Lin Yuan looked at his wristwatch after chatting for a while and stated. Okay, you can go, I won't delay you anymore. I will always remember your life-saving grace. If you have any difficulties, you must tell me. I will never decline to help you. Song Xian said earnestly. Okay, Lin Yuan nodded. He knew that Song Xian was speaking earnestly, and she would remember his kindness. Lin Yuan would possibly be able to use the entire strength of the Yan family conglomerate to help himself in exchange for the favor of today. Xiao Yuan is about to leave, go, see him off, Song Xian shouted to Yan Ruyu, who was sitting beside her. Okay. Yan Ruyu mumbled to herself and got up depressively. Lin Yuan was unconcerned, he said goodbye, got up, and left directly. Yan Ruyu quickly followed him. Yan Ruyu looked at Lin Yuan's back and discovered that she was unable to understand this man. Lin Yuan was very passionate about her before, his passion was to the level of licking dog, which made her nauseous. However, he is indifferent to her now. As he visited her home today, she had dressed up to feel whether she was emotionally affected, but Lin Yuan did not glance at her. He spoke a lot to Song Xian. He did not even mention her in those conversations apart from when discussing the marriage contract. Furthermore, he possesses such a shocking medical skill. When did he learn it? Yan Ruyu felt that Lin Yuan was shrouded in mystery. He was a riddle. She felt the tickle in her heart. Lin Yuan got in the Lamborghini, which was opened by the security guard respectfully. As Lin Yuan was about to start the car, Yan Ruyu said, Today. Thank you for treating my mother. It's okay, Lin Yuan said only 2 words before stepping on the accelerator and driving away. There was only exhaust remaining behind. The iceberg beauty Yan Ruyu could not help but nibble her lips, seeing the decisive departure of Lin Yuan. She had taken the initiative to thank Lin Yuan with great difficulty. This man had departed right after saying 2 words. Yan Ruyu felt doubts about her charm for the first time in more than a decade. But I can't seem to loathe it. Yan Ruyu thought silently in her heart. Ding! The first heroine, Yan Ruyu's hatred for Master -50? Counterattack point +200. Lin Yuan received a prompt in his mind from the system. Lin Yuan had a faint smile when he heard the reward prompt. The host is truly aloof when facing the thanks of the iceberg beauty. Unexpectedly you replied so coldly and briefly, Shen Lan stated. Otherwise, do you still want me to be a licking dog? Lin Yuan said with a faint smile. Shen Lan does not want to express an opinion because the host said that Shen Lan is a moron when it comes to love. Shen Lan replied. Although you are foolish, you have self-knowledge, Lin Yuan said. But I know the saying it is better to strike the iron while it's hot. Why doesn't Master take advantage of this opportunity? If you think from another point of view, you have just gained 200 counterattack points. You will need to exchange 20 million yuan for the same number of counterattack points from the system. Shen Lan argued. Don't worry, there will be many opportunities to contact the Yan family after saving Song Xian. This can be considered the foundation to thaw the iceberg. The iceberg Yanruyo will slowly come to my side, Lin Yuan confidently laughed while conversing. Oh, by the way, I remember that in the novel Song Xian was saved by the protagonist Ye Feng. If I rescued first, doesn't it mean that I snatched his chance? Why didn't I get a reward? Lin Yuan asked. Yes, it can be regarded as snatching the chance of the protagonist. It takes some time to get everything processed. The reward issuance takes some time, Shen Lan explained. Ding! The host successfully rescued Song Xian, and with Song Xian's promise, he gained the favor of the entire Yan clan group. He has taken away the opportunity of the original protagonist and gets rewarded 500 counterattack points. Lin Yuan received another prompt in his mind. He examined his attribute panel. Host, Lin Yuan counterattack point. 700 wealth value, 5 billion attribute strength 103, speed, 105, reaction, 104, charisma, 150, physique, 110 skills medical skills, divine level, car skills, intermediate level, violin, intermediate level, calligraphy, intermediate level, English, elementary level. The counterattack points are 700, which is what he just obtained. His wealth value of 5 billion surprised him a little bit. Although his company has been making profits and his net worth is increasing, but it is impossible for it to be back to 5 billion so quickly. It seems that the Villa Ant Song gave me is worth at least 300 million yuan, Lin Yuan laughingly said. Although compared to ordinary people, my attributes and skills are good, but it is much worse than the protagonist of an urban romance novel. I have to continue to earn counterattack points. Okay, according to the plot, the original protagonist will arrive in Jiangbei City in 3 days. At that time, the novel world will get you in conflict with the protagonist as your setting is a villain, Shen Lan reminded. Then let's go. Where? International Trade District. The International Trade District is one of the most prosperous districts in Jiangbei City. It was the afternoon at this time. Many people were window shopping. The streets were bustling with activity, as people brushed shoulders. In front of a clothing store, there was a person dressed as a small bear action figure, who was trying hard to distribute flyers to the people passing by. Even though it was magmy hot at this time, the dress of the mascot was like a stove. The mascot still had to strive his best at work. However, the middle-aged store owner, sitting inside the air-conditioned store, was still slightly dissatisfied. Shout! Did you not eat? Am I giving you 80 yuan every day to feed the dog? The middle-aged store manager was greasy and fat all over, thus, he felt hot, even though the air conditioner was blowing. He was irritated and scolded the part-time employee to vent his anger. He had considered earlier how to vent his anger. The part-time worker had come late today, and he felt content to threaten her with her wages. There was a commotion outside the store at this moment. The fat and greasy manager looked curiously at the commotion outside. The crowd quickly stepped aside to make way. Many people even took out their mobile phones to take a picture. A luxurious silver-colored car showed up in front of the store at that time. The door of the luxurious car opened and a man walked out. The man had outstanding facial features and a tall figure. He had attracted the eyes of countless women the moment he had walked out. He is Lin Yuan. Fuck. Lamborghini Aventador. Fuck. The watch on his hand is a limited edition Patek Philippe, which is worth at least 5 million. You guys are superficial and only have money in your eyes. This handsome guy is a lady killer. I hope I was like him. He is so handsome that even male celebrities will pale in comparison to him. Countless people took out their mobile phones to take pictures of Lin Yuan. Hearing the words of these passers-by, the greasy and fat store manager quickly wiped off the sweat on his body and ran out quickly to welcome the customer. He knocked down the mascot at the door as he was anxious. Are you blind? Why don't you move aside? Waste. The greasy and fat manager cursed out when he knocked on the person. Then he ran quickly to Lin Yuan, stooped and bowed his head, bending and scrapping to curry favor, and said with a smile on his face, Son One, what are you going to buy? There are many fashion styles in our clothing store, roll. Lin Yuan only answered him with one word. Yes, yes. The fat store manager immediately stepped aside after hearing Lin Yuan say that. As he wiped off the oily sweat on his forehead, he did not understand how he angered the young master and made him unhappy. The fatty store manager felt slightly apprehensive. He had been fawning not only because Lin Yuan appeared wealthy but primarily because he had a noble temperament that did not belong to an upstart. Moreover, he felt as if he were, ding. The heroine fell down. Please make a choice. Choice 1, turn a blind eye and go away. Reward, advanced erhu proficiency. Choice 2, support the heroine. Reward, advanced piano proficiency. Lin Yuan's purpose coming here was the second hostess, thus, he chose the second option. Ding! Receive the reward advanced piano proficiency. Lin Yuan understood a few things when he received the reward prompt. It seems he will get to make choices when he comes across plot points in the original novel. One example is meeting the hostess before the protagonist. The importance of characters and their influence on the plot determines the rewards. Yenryu is the primary heroine in the novel. Thus, reward choices are divine-level skills, while the second heroine is less influential, and thus, the reward choices are advanced-level skills. Lin Yuan ignored the fatty store manager and the passers-by who were frantically taking pictures as well as women with bloodshot eyes. He walked directly to the bear mascot, who was knocked down, scolded, and lying on the ground. He lifted her. Are you all right? Lin Yuan asked. Chu Wangzai heard a gentle voice of concern when someone had lifted her. She hurriedly replied, It's okay. Sigh. One she was gasping for breath while talking. Is it hot and stuffy inside the bear costume? Lin Yuan asked while continuing to support her. Fine, tolerable. Chu Wangzai was a little nervous. She suddenly felt the removal of the head cover of the bear costume. She was unable to see clearly in the bear costume. Now, Chu Wangzai could look at the person that had supported herself. So handsome? This was the first impression of Chu Wangzai. He had short black hair, angular face as smooth as jade, his eyes were limpid and deep. Nose bridge high and he had a tall figure. Her face flushed almost instantly. It was redder than before when it was inside the bear costume. The face was so suffocated inside the bear costume that it became red with lots of sweat. It's not important anymore. Lin Yuan smiled slightly, putting the wig of the costume on the ground. He also removed the hair of the costume headgear that had stuck to Chu Wangzai's forehead. The actions of Lin Yuan made Chu Wangzai even shyer. In fact, Lin Yuan was also surprised the moment he took off her costume headgear and lifted her hair. Lin Yuan remembered that Chu Wangzai was also one of the heroines in the novel. The novel described Chu Wangzai as very beautiful, and his goal was precisely Chu Wangzai this time. However, only after meeting did he understand how beautiful she is. Her beauty is different from that of Yenryu. Yenryu is indeed very beautiful, so much so that he had never come across anyone more beautiful than her in his previous life. Chu Wangzai wasn't much in terms of beauty when compared to Yenryu. Her face was as exquisite as hers. Chu Wangzai wore a long ponytail, with a little hair on her forehead, most of which is behind her ears. She had a jade-like glossy oval face with bright eyes and white teeth, making it a picturesque facial appearance. Her shyness led to possessing rosy cheeks, making her adorable and cute. Her pair of red phoenix eyes, both big and bright, got the attraction of Lin Yuan the most. At that moment, she did not dare to meet his gaze and pretended to look upwards. Lin Yuan couldn't bear and ended up laughing. The sun is so dazzling in the sky. Don't your eyes feel uncomfortable looking at it? It feels uncomfortable, Chu Wangzai blurted out and then immediately shut her mouth in embarrassment. She wanted to say that Lin Yuan was more dazzling than the sun at that time.